Giving you a chance to experience everything Circa has to offer with a trip along with your favorite KXNO personalities.
The next KXNO Silver Ticket Tour will bring you to Las Vegas and Circa for 4 days, 3 nights. Go to KXNO.com to sign up and have a chance to experience Circa with KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
And we hope to see you soon at Circa.
Live from the TNT Landscaping and Nursery Studios, you're listening to 106.3 KXNO. Miller and Condon on the Iowa Sports Radio Network and 106.3 KXNO. All
right, good afternoon. Welcome, Miller and Condon on a Tuesday, the Iowa Sports Radio Network. Trent and Ken for the next couple of hours to talk sports with you. Appreciate you starting your afternoon with us, and trust everybody had a wonderful long weekend. Certainly the weather cooperated and people were able to get outside and get some stuff done. Good program coming up today. Hopefully we won't blow it. We will talk to Bill Seals at the bottom of hour number 1. Milan Momcilovic has until 11:59 tomorrow night to make his intentions known, whether he's going to stay in the NBA draft or go back to school. And then the question becomes, what school? So we'll talk to Bill Seals about that, amongst other Cyclone topics, coming up at 12:30. 1 o'clock, or 2 to be precise, Matt Snyder from CBSSports.com, our national baseball guy who joins us every week. He will join us, talk a little MLB as the Cubs continue their swoon. Haven't won since White Sox Pride laid the hammer down and dropped the curse on this edition of the Cubs. So we'll talk to Matt Snyder about all things baseball at 1:02. And then Scott Dochterman back from the Big Ten meetings in L.A. We'll put a bow on those with Doc coming up at 1:30. Trent will make some picks at about 10 minutes or so before 2, and we'll turn things over to Off the Bench. How was your weekend?
Painful.
Still?
Yeah, it has not gone swimmingly. Age sucks, and
it sure does.
It. Got the cortisone shot on Friday. So we had a double dip on Friday. Thursday evening, we had softball, my daughter's softball team, a rec team. And so I gutted it out, coaching first base it over there and feeling it, but I already had my appointment set up. So went over to Capital Orthopedic. And in the interim, while Ella was playing softball, Jack was over at the new playground equipment.
Okay, yeah.
And fell off it.
I was going to say, I know where this is going.
Yep, landed on his wrist. Well, I already had my appointment set up. So I made a call Friday morning. Hey, can you also check my son? So Dad got x-rays.
Did you have to pay 2 co-pays?
Yes, we did. Had to pay both of them.
Crooks.
And both had to get x-rays.
I'm not calling Capital.
No,
I'm calling the whole medical industry.
Both x-rays, torn labrum for me, broken wrist for Jack.
Jesus.
And the Condon boys are strong.
Oh, the girls.
Girls are great.
Yeah, so far.
They got everything figured out.
Yeah.
They got it.
It comes in 3s, just to let you know.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
One more coming. That's what you're saying?
Well, I hope not.
Yes.
Good to see you here.
Yes, happy to be
here.
here.
On Friday, and hopefully Jack is on the mend. So this will take him on a baseball.
So he has it's called a buccal fracture. So it didn't break through the skin. It didn't do anything where the bone is displaced. It's basically, it looks like a buckle just on top of the bone, and he's in a soft cast. So a couple of weeks, he's going to go back. Hopefully at that point, things are starting to heal and he's going to be okay. But today I was over at the school. It's field day. Did you guys have field day growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Huge deal.
Yeah, fun day.
And when you tell a kindergartner,
you can't participate, that's not going to go well.
It was tough.
Yeah,
it was tough. Now, he was still doing some things and was able, and they had one of the teachers up in the dunk tank, and he was throwing the ball and tried to knock her down and doing those kind of things. But yeah, that was tough on the little guy. I told him no wrestling for a couple of weeks, no baseball for a couple of weeks. When you're 6, it's pretty impactful.
Absolutely. I get it. Well, hopefully you're both on the mend and things will work out in the end. They did not work out well for the Cleveland Cavaliers. What a choke job. Not a choke job. What a quit. Just a pure unadulterated, where our season's over. And it showed last night. They never even... I was going to say they didn't try. I'm not sure that how much they tried. You don't go into a elimination game. Your season's on the line, and that's the effort or lack of. So my question to you is, regardless who comes out of the West, I'm not so sure it's the layup we thought it was going to be. Knicks are getting all of this rest. Spurs would have to play a ton of basketball. OKC's got some injuries in their own right. SGA, one of these series, the referees aren't going to, you know what, we're going to call this evenly. We're not going to just defer to him. But did you see the foul of the? I mean, I'm not sure which guy it was. Never even touched him on the Spurs, and he goes down and he gets a three.
It was Fox that was.
I think was it Fox?
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous. Feet didn't collide, and if they did, they brushed. But I'm not so sure that the Knicks. It's a foregone conclusion that the West is going to win. Am I nuts?
I don't think so at all. We have seen a couple of teams that have had this kind of winning streak in the NBA playoffs. 99 Spurs, and I think it was the 07 Warriors that had a winning streak like this, but they weren't winning like this. And I get it. The East is depleted. Your domination. They can beat you a bunch of different ways.
Cat's playing his best basketball maybe of his career.
And it's never been a talent thing with Karl Anthony Towns. Never has been about talent.
Yeah.
It's been about between the years.
Uh-huh.
And
by the way, have you been playing those rebound props of his on a daily basis? Because I think he's gone over in most of them.
Yeah, he's been a man possessed out there. This whole team that looked to be good, maybe they can win the East, but that was it. Now, yes,
I give him a chance, Trent. I absolutely give him a chance.
And you couple it with what you said. Whoever comes out of OKC, San Antonio, this is a gauntlet. I mean, these teams are clutching and grabbing and fighting, and the injury concerns now with the Thunder. Williams is hurt again. Just on and on and on. Yes, the Knicks are absolutely live here. And if you would have told me that even 2 weeks ago, no shot.
I think we did talk about it 2 weeks ago and didn't think there was a chance that this thing was going to be good. But I do. I'm with you. Injuries of OKC, Spurs are. I would be shocked if we're not literally a best of three to those three. I would be stunned if anybody wins the next two games. Probably OKC tonight, but I'm not convinced. The number says it's going to be a tight game. It's about 4.5, 5. Yep, it's a small number back in Oklahoma City. So that's where I'll be tonight. And I wouldn't have said this very often when the NHL and the NBA are going head to head with this Colorado Avalanche. But that reminds me of the Cleveland Cavaliers. My God, look, I thought the Colorado was not a phony, not a fraud, but I didn't think that they were cup worthy. I thought the Wild would be the team that dominated, and they didn't, obviously. The Avs had their way with them. But this Vegas Golden Knights team, they're just a hockey team. They're going to be tough to beat, Trent. I don't care who comes out of the East.
Carolina felt like throughout. Obviously, they swept the first two series, so that helps. But definitely felt like the class. And Colorado the same. How do you get up 3-0 and just blow it like that?
Exactly. Lose 5-3.
So I took a peek at the live line when it was 3-0.
Oh, did you?
You get the Golden Knights. I think it was a little bit better than 9-1.
Really?
After it was 3-1, I looked again.
And what it dropped to? 2?
Plus 245. They're still up 2.
Yeah.
And to lose in that fashion, we talk about devastating. Now, hockey is the one sport, more than any of the other major sports that play series, that we do see comebacks. It's happened 4 times. You remember any of the 3-0 deficits that have been erased?
Colorado was on the losing end of one.
I have them here. Let me scroll through.
Recently,
I have them on my notes.
I think
there's been 2 that are semi-recent that has happened. All right, here it is. 4 teams. You don't remember the 1942 Maple Leafs?
No, I don't remember that one.
The 75 Islanders.
So who were they down to?
Not sure. Just have the list.
Well, they beat Edmonton before Gretzky became Gretzky, but that was late 70s. I don't know who that would have been against. Okay.
So 2 within the last 16 years.
Okay.
The 2010 Flyers
and
the 2014 Kings. Those are the 2 times recently that it has happened. So it can happen, I guess, in hockey more than other sports.
I don't see it happening.
No.
Nathan McKinnon's hurt.
Yes.
McCarr is not close to 100%. And those are the 2 best players by a mile. But we'll see. We'll see if they can find a way to win one. If not, we'll get Game 6 in a standalone spot for the NBA between OKC and San Antonio on Thursday night. And I hope that tonight is a good game on the hardwood. I really do. I want to see this basketball game tonight. I think San Antonio is such a fun team to watch. OKC, neither one of these teams are going away anytime soon. OKC's got all of these first-round picks. They're rumored to be packaged and put them together trying to booze her, which makes some sense.
There's also some chatter out there about Chet Holmgren.
He's soft.
He has scored not much in this series. He doesn't feel like he's a very good matchup against Victor Wembanyama.
And you would think that they need him to be Trent.
If it makes sense.
You see 7-1. Holmgren is 7 foot.
7'1", yeah. It makes sense. Giannis, go that direction. You bring some physicality to that defense against Victor. I've heard crazier theories and how quickly things can change, because all of a sudden it goes from last year and throughout most of the season. The Thunder are going to be dominating for the next 6, 8, 10 years. And now you see this behemoth that is building in San Antonio. And suddenly you go from
young group too.
Everybody has to kind of adapt to you. Now you have to adapt to them. And even if the Thunder get by this playoff series and win another championship, that's still got to be in the back of their minds, right?
No, absolutely. I like that.
With all the flexibility that they have, all the advantages that they have, the young guys that they got, Lou Dort, who's not going to be there much longer. There's going to be pieces that move, but it's going to be now going forward, not about who's going to be able to catch us. I think it's going to be, how are we going to be able to beat San Antonio for the next half decade? How quickly?
How would you like to be a fan of a team in the West with looking at those two and looking at their that they're nowhere near the expiration?
Well, and the Timberwolves are a great example.
That was the team I was thinking of.
Yes. You have a team back-to-back Western Conference Finals. Went 6 with 2 guys banged up in this one. Ant was not himself, and yet you look up and you say, those teams are looking better.
Right.
What are we going to do? How do you retool that roster? Julius Randle, another no-show in the playoffs. Ant, how much more can you ask out of him? It feels like, is there another level to him? Hard to envision.
I think we've seen it.
Right.
And that level's really good.
Right. It's great. But what else can you do when you look at that environment and what Wemby is? This dude, that half quarter, did you think he was going in?
No.
I did.
You did.
As he is hoisting, and I see SGA, fall to the side, not even going to contest it. And it was feeling. He's going to hit this too. And he does. He is so incredible. He is so fun to watch. He is also so thoughtful. And honestly, this is the first time I've really listened to Wemby during this playoff run, there are times that he'll ask the reporter, speaking in English, to maybe take it a step further, because he really wants to answer in his most truthful way of what he's thinking. He's not shy. He's got an incredible ability, I think, to connect with people. He has so much fun. SGA, I've never been a fan.
Yeah, me neither.
He's never been.
No, he doesn't need to play that way.
No, the James Harden stuff.
Yeah, it bugs me.
Talked about that for years and years. This guy, there's something different about him, and I hope 7 foot, gangly. You always have those concerns, but if we can get this guy, watching him play for the next 10, 12 years.
Well, if you go back and you look at him when he was a rookie in the league to where he's at now, and he's not thick by any means, but he's thicker.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he's bigger now by a significant amount from when he broke into the league. Fun game tonight. Can't wait to watch it. That's got to be a 7-pot tip, right?
It is. So we do get a little. What's up with last night? No stagger. Both the hockey and NBA start at the same time.
And then here's what I saw this on Twitter, and I should have looked. I've read that once we get to the final, that the NBA and the NHL play on the same night, with the exception of Game 4.
Really?
What is the NHL doing?
This
is the NHL that has to get out of the way. It's the NBA, it's the United States. It's a basketball country. It's not a hockey country. Do what you have to do to get off of those dates.
2026 Stanley Cup Final, TBD, locations.
But it does have the dates, does it not?
The wiki does not have it up. Let's see if I can find it maybe somewhere else. Does NHL.com have it?
Game 1 of the NBA Final, I want to say, is next Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Wednesday, June the 3rd is Game 1.
The 2026 Stanley Cup Final is scheduled to begin on
Wednesday, June 3rd.
What is going on?
And when's Game 2?
I would guess the next
2 days later, June 5th.
That's
same as the NBA.
What are they doing?
What are they doing?
I'm baffled. I cannot wrap my mind around this.
And you know what? It hasn't been the case for the last, I don't know,
long time.
Yes. But they're going to go head to head with the NBA. I don't care if this is television partners. Put your damn foot down. The last thing you need. Look, the NHL playoffs have been dominating. Let's be honest.
Yes. Yeah.
They really have. Now I get it. You're not going to watch because you don't like hockey and you don't love the NBA, but you know the game of basketball.
Right.
But This is, if there has ever been a case for you to at least dip your toe in the NHL waters, this playoffs has been fascinating from the time they dropped the puck in the middle of April. And now you're going to put up against the Knicks and OKC, or the Knicks and Victor Wembanyama. What are you thinking? You're going to get killed.
I'm baffled.
Stunned. Just a stunning revelation.
Yet another one for Gary Bettman, huh?
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, so what's wrong with the Cubs?
They can't hit.
Now, well, that's one of the problems.
They cannot hit at all.
And it's their big gun. Here's this one from Ian Happ, who's just absolutely in as bad of a place right now. I want to find here's his last 30 games.
Okay.
I'll do his last 15. His last 15 games, he's 6 for 15. He's batting $115, 27 strikeouts. His last 30 games, he's batting $187, 45 strikeouts. Running his scoring position this year, he's batting $143. What is wrong with Ian Happ? What is wrong with Dansby Swanson? What is wrong with PCA? What is right? You can keep going down the list. They cannot get anybody home. They cannot hit. They're pitching. God bless them. They're giving them all they can.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't score a run, you're not going to win very many games.
So I found this one from Jesse Rogers. During this 9-game losing streak, they are 35 for 148 with runners in scoring position. That's a paltry 190 batting average with runners. That is 29th in baseball. 2 chances yesterday that they did not get. And yeah, just looking through last 15 days, got this up on Cubs.com. This is what we got. Leading the way over the last 2 weeks, Alex Bregman, batting 302.
Okay, all right.
Next up with 9 hits
Would be
Michael Busch. He's also batting 205.
Yeah. A couple of those hits have been home runs, but yep.
Nico Horner batting 170. PCA batting 143. Suzuki 128. Ian Happ 128. Dansby Swanson 132. Ballesteros 158. How about a little Conforto? 111.
Trent,
It's unbelievable.
that's you mean you can't make those numbers up
Is there an issue?
with counsel?
I was going to get there. I was going to start, though, the guy picking the groceries. Not the guy doing the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Look through
Yeah.
what they've done, free agency, and the guys that they have brought in.
Mm-hmm. I like the Bregman signing. I wish we would have signed him last year
Yes.
when he went to Boston.
Dansby Swanson.
How long's he been there? She's been there 3 or 4 years now. You know what? I got to be fair to the audience.
He's a good defender.
He's a great defender, and I love the signing when they got him from Atlanta. I loved it. Thought that this is exactly what they needed. And again, he's a great defender, but he's just totally lost at the plate. But he's not alone.
No.
He's not alone. So you have to do something. You can't fire the players. You know who usually pays the price? Well, a first base coach.
Yes.
Like that's going to change. But it's usually, I mean, is counsel on borrowed time? I can't wait to talk to Cappy tomorrow, and he's going to join us on Wednesday, which he normally does, but I've asked him to move to Thursdays, but I'm working tomorrow. So I'm off Thursday. Is counsel's seat getting hot, or should it be?
I don't have a good response to that.
And if so, do you put your tail between your legs and say, Rossi, can you come back?
Because the reason that I brought up the front office and the way that they
Hoyer and company, yeah.
put this thing together is how many hitting coaches have they gone through the last 7-8 years?
Yeah, I don't recall the bed. Yeah.
Probably a half dozen.
Probably, certainly some, yeah.
We've had a multitude of managers,
Mhm.
and yet time in and time out, these signings, at least offensively, have not been very good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where maybe I would point.
And the starting pitching, too. I mean, they've just been absolutely killed by
Yes,
injuries.
Right.
Just killed.
And it's finally catching up.
It is. I mean, Justin Steele and Cade Horton, these were going to be 2 guys at the top of your rotation. Bing, bang. They go down. Obviously, still down from last year. He keeps getting pushed back further and further. We'll see where it goes. But my God, when Ben Brown, and I like Ben Brown. Don't like him as an ace.
You don't want him to be your number one.
Right? And is he almost that now?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, Imanaga's been okay. They didn't expect him to be the guy by any means. Cabrera's now gone down with a blister on his thumb. Cappy didn't think it was a big deal a couple of weeks ago, or last time we spoke. Colin Ray's, you're what, 3 or 4 at this point? I love his story.
And he should be on a good team. He's a number 5
or 6.
Yeah, a spot starter. Yes,
Yeah.
he's your swing guy. If you have that, you're in really good shape.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's a really good tweet. This is a good one. Dansby Swanson is the new Jason Hayward. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Jason? Although he doesn't ground into as many double plays to the second baseman. My God.
Rolling over.
I have time after time after time.
Here it is. Double play. Roll it up. 4, 6, 3.
Double play.
Every
We'll
time.
go to the top of the next inning. Comes trail.
One thing that I noticed yesterday, and I got in about the 7th inning, I think is when I checked in yesterday, is they just looked defeated even at the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just went up there, no swagger,
Mm-hmm.
no confidence. This isn't something you can measure. Just watching
PCA getting picked off, stealing bases.
Yeah, there's so much of that.
Mm-hmm.
And baseball's funky, and it's a long season,
Yep.
and everybody has a lull. This does feel
But the
different.
whole team's having their lull right now.
Yes. For a team that's had 2 10-game winning streaks.
Right. That's hard to believe, isn't it?
And now
It's
they're
hard to fathom.
staring at a 10-game losing
Uh-huh.
streak in the face.
Who goes tonight? You know what? I should have looked at this. What is the pitching matchup?
Oh, Jordan Wicks got the call up after putting up a 4.44 ERA with AAA Iowa. He'll get the ball opposite Ashcraft, who's been pretty good.
Has he?
Yeah.
I know they missed Skeens. I think that maybe they get Skeens. This is a 4-game series. Skeens pitched in Toronto over the weekend.
He's pitching Thursday.
Is he?
The getaway game, 5:40, because I know the Twins play the Pirates and they miss Skeens.
Do they?
I won't talk about the playoff-bound Minnesota Twins. If the playoffs started today,
yeah, but they ran into those red-hot White Sox.
the White Sox and the Twins would be playoff
That's
teams.
wild, isn't it?
That's an indictment of the American League.
It really and truly is. It truly is.
Both watching that yesterday, both those teams are not good. They're not good.
Is that what you watched?
Yeah.
Why would you subject yourself? I know
'Cause
it's
I'm a
your
Twins
squad.
fan.
Yeah. By the way, I met a buddy of yours yesterday.
Oh no,
I did.
this sounds terrible.
this
This is going to be a disaster.
I want to find out I wrote his name because it's obviously not his real name. Club Sporto. Sporto.
I haven't seen Sporto in.
I
a
remember
long
there was
time.
a time you talked about Sporto because I remembered his name. Sporto plays the horses.
Sporto likes to wager.
Sporto just moved up in my book.
Yes,
He's not only firing on Prairie Meadows, but he's got his Santa Anita racing form open in Santa Anita. He's playing a race on the grass. Yeah, and his buddy, I think his name is. I met so many people this weekend.
That's awesome.
It really is. I should have gone out more in my 30 years. But yeah, it's Club Sporto.
Sporto. Well, Sporto's listening. Hit me up, Sporto. It's been too long, and maybe we need to go out there and visit Ken sometime and fire at some horses coming up this summer.
Yeah,
You're having a blast out there.
I am. I'm having a really good time, and the crowds have been unbelievable at the track so far this year. The handles is just unbelievable. It's up over 50%. It's doing great. So, anyways, we'll be back at it on Friday. We're going to talk to Bill Seals. Cyclone topics coming up here at the bottom of hour number 1. Look forward to catching up with Bill Seals. I don't think Momcilovic is coming back to Iowa State. I want to put that out there right now, but I'm going to ask him. I mean, there's an open scholarship.
Yes. And if you follow some of those burner accounts on Twitter,
yeah,
they're convinced.
Are they? That he's coming back to Ames?
Oh, they're finding money all over the place.
So what is he going to get on the open market? Have you seen, is he a $5 million?
I think a minimum.
At minimum. So
Yeah.
you think what do you have to find in the couch cushions to make Momcilovic whole? As far as you can get X from Kentucky, can you match X?
I don't think Iowa State could match them.
Okay,
but could they get close? And the comfortable
and if
factor,
they get close,
right? If it is 5,
mm-hmm.
can they get 3?
Mm-hmm.
If it's 7, can they get 4? Even that. Is he just ready for something different too?
Yeah, but why would you be when you're Milan Momcilovic and you know this is a talented team year after year after year?
It is.
I know Lipsy
but it's also
moves
Kentucky.
on. I know Jefferson moves on, but Kentucky hasn't been worth a crap.
They haven't, but it's Kentucky basketball. It's a blue.
No,
blood.
I get it. I absolutely. I get where they fall in the ranking process status wise.
We obviously saw Iowa State right now is a lot better program than Kentucky.
Right.
Which is crazy to think, but it's not close.
Uh-huh.
Last half decade, they blow them out of the water.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's the comfort factor. And look at Lexington's beautiful. I love Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
But the Big 12, I don't know. We'll see. I'll ask Bill Seals that coming up here. So I'm getting that question first. So
steal that one.
Yeah. Let's get Thunder Joe in here. I want to talk to him about his squad. Are you nervous at all, Joe, about Thunder Spurs?
Yeah, well, I told you guys earlier in the year, I think the Spurs are the only team that could beat them because, they didn't look good, this season against each other. But that's not what I call it. I don't want to jinx the Thunder.
Okay.
I got a theory. I got a theory on the baseball free agent signings and whatnot. Michael McGreevy told Ken Rosenthal, I'm a Cardinal fan, and watching this Cardinal team, I don't feel like they're out of any game they play in, because McGreevy brought it up to Rosenthal, and it dawned on me. He told Ken Rosenthal after he got done pitching, he's like, we've all played together since Double-A.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at it, the Reds, the Cardinals, the Pirates, the Brewers, they don't have big free agent signings. For crying out loud, the Brewers got rid of Corbin Burns. They're all homegrown teams. They're all homegrown teams. You look at the Nationals. The Dodgers are not blowing teams out of the water. You look at the Rays. You look at the A's. Look, White Sox, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Are we seeing a shift to where you don't have to spend the money?
Hey, so let me ask. It's an interesting point. Was it from a couple of weeks ago, Rosenthal and McGreevy on a Saturday night? Because I saw those two speak, and I was blown away by McGreevy in a positive way. Was that the one you're referring to?
Yes, it is. Because Rosenthal asked him if he was surprised about the success the team's had so far, and McGreevy's like, not really. He goes, because we've all played since Double-A, and we won championships at the Double-A level and the Triple-A level. He's like, well, outside of 4 or 5 guys, he's 100% correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that interview and I was really impressed by McGreevy. In fact, I think I came here some point next week, the following week, and said as much. It was a Saturday Fox game, and Rosenthal was there. Interesting. So these Cardinals are fun to watch. I mean, I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if they're going to be able to, what the longevity is for this team this year. But maybe it's going to be the Brewers and the Cardinals in the race. Who would have thought? Right?
But it could be, and you never know. Like I said, go up and down the standings, and every team that's having massive success don't have that big free agent signings. Look how bad the Phillies are.
Yeah.
The
Mets are just atrocious. My God, they're bad.
Can't get out of their own way.
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the call. Enjoy the game tonight. Good luck to your squad. A big OKC.
Stand by for news.
Hang on.
Well, we have this just in from Chad Leistikow of the Des Moines Register. The Iowa women's basketball team has signed a home and home
with
UConn.
How about that?
Yeah. Next 2 seasons, they will go to Stores.
So coming up this year?
Starting in 2026-27 to Stores, and then at Carver in 27-28.
How about that? Well done.
That's
awesome. Huge.
Jan Jensen.
Yes.
Tip of the ball cap. Game last year, they got throttled.
Right. I was about
Neutral
to say.
floor.
Was it 2 years ago they were on TV on Thanksgiving against South Carolina, maybe?
Oh, that was the Iowa State women.
Was it?
Yes, that was that Thanksgiving game.
Okay.
Where they got down
they got killed.
50-15 or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. It was Iowa State. You're right.
Last year, Iowa played UConn. Couldn't get the ball up the floor. I think they had 27 turnovers in the game. But still.
Wasn't as bad as the UCLA game.
No.
That was as bad as. But good for them.
Yes.
Good for them. Good for women's basketball.
Home and homes. That's fun.
I like it. By the way, speaking of women's basketball, tomorrow night, I was going to say mildly intrigued. No, it's up a level than that. For the Valkyries and the Fever.
Okay.
Especially when you go back to what, is it Tiffany Hayes and Caitlin Clark? Boy, when Caitlin's pissed off or when she's talking trash, she's just on another level. She's so much fun to watch. But this is the rematch, and neither team has played a game since this game on Friday night. And they'll play tomorrow on Prime at 9:00. I think we'll reach out to Scott Agnes.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Because I'm interested in that game tomorrow night because of all the histrionics.
And kind of the week off, a chance to, after the back injury from Caitlin the game before.
And that Hayes gal's tweeting on X that maybe some of the players in the league should try and injure Caitlin.
Great.
What are you thinking? What are you doing? They'll never get out of their own way, will they?
Yeah.
But the rematch is tomorrow night. I can't wait to watch that. 9:00. Now, how much will I see?
You're not going to make it to the end.
Well, that and Colorado, Montreal will be going on.
Sure.
And if that game goes, because these two teams are so evenly matched. God, I love this. And I know I say it all the time. There's nothing like it. A home game in Montreal, at the Bell Center in Montreal. It's just a different level. It's just a different level. Miller and Condon, 12:30. Bill Seals next. Iowa Sports Radio Network.
I love cottage cheese. It's a great source of protein and goes with so many meals. And AE Dairy makes the absolute best. They've been making cottage cheese since the 1930s with so many flavors too, including AE Dairy's latest Parmesan garlic cottage cheese. Creamy AE Dairy cottage cheese meets bold Parmesan and garlic for a savory twist you you didn't know you needed. AE Dairy Parmesan Garlic Cottage Cheese is now in stores. Get product info and great recipes at aedairy.com.
It happens only once a year in Las Vegas.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
Is back. One stage, 2 nights.
Are you ready? Featuring the biggest names in music. Live, loud, and always full of surprises.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Hear it live on iHeartRadio and streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen for the reveal of our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tuesday morning, June 2nd at 7.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change in your family, what are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
When you need electrical work done right, trust the local experts at Mr. Electric. From small repairs to major upgrades, our licensed professionals deliver safe, reliable service every time. Proudly serving Central Iowa, Mr. Electric, family owned and here when you need us.
American service members are operating in combat environments around the world, especially in the Middle East. USO teams are there with them. We are the only military support nonprofit with the presence and access to keep service members connected to home. We stand with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and our support at this hour. Let our heroes know that you stand with them too, and they are never alone. Show your support at USO.org today.
Hi, this is Zach Bricketto from Priority One Heating and Cooling. As the weather starts warming up, our number one priority is to make sure your HVAC is up for another Iowa summer. Schedule a spring tune-up at callpriorityone.com.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Ken and Trent are back in 60 seconds right here on 106.3 KXNO.
This feeling is brought to you by Aleve for back pain relief. What feeling is that, you ask? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from back pain. That move how you want to, not how you have to feeling. That keep going through your day without slowing down feeling. The kind that brings you back to yourself all day long without interruption. Oh, yeah. Because Aleve offers long-lasting pain relief. Feel up to 12 hours of back pain relief with one dose. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Hey guys, it's us, the Jonas Brothers. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Nick. And guess what? We created our own podcast called Hey Jonas.
We invented a podcast?
Well, we didn't invent it. We just contributed to it.
We're the first people to do podcasts. We get to ask other people questions because we're sick and tired of being asked questions.
Well, sick and tired is a strong way to put it, but you know.
Tired and sick.
Tired and sick.
Listen to Hey Jonas on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Hey Jonas and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
You're listening to Miller and Condon
Deep downfield, wide open.
on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Hi, Miller and Condon. Welcome back. 12:35 on a Tuesday. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Matt Snyder kicks off hour number 2, baseball conversation, MLB. He covers the MLB for CBSSports.com. Bill Seals covers Iowa State, CycloneReport.com, part of the Rival/On3 network. And Bill joins us, Bill, Trent, and Ken. So a lot of Twitter regarding Milan Momcilovic. Obviously, he has until tomorrow night at 11:59 to make his intentions known, whether he's going to stay in the draft or whether he's going to go back to school for his final year of eligibility. Bill, I know that you thought that it's good to talk to you, by the way, and appreciate it as always, you coming on. You thought that the chances were slim to none that Momcilovic would not be a Cyclone. Maybe I'm putting words into your mouth, but you didn't think there would be much chance. This was last week or a couple of weeks ago when I asked the question. Now that seemingly he may be coming back to school, do you still feel that there's no shot Iowa State gets him, or have you maybe moved up a little bit but still don't think it's going to happen? Where are you, Bill?
Well, I don't think he's going to end up back at Iowa State, and I don't think that's really in the cards right now. And it's just a matter of if he, as you mentioned, tomorrow night pulls out of the draft or remains in there. There's been a lot of buzz out there, I think, with Kentucky. I'm not really seeing too many reputable reports right now on him being for sure headed to Kentucky. I think there are a lot of rumors out there by people on X about that. So, Louisville, St. John's, I think those were the other two schools rumored with him for a while now. And, there was another rumor out there that he had canceled all of his remaining workouts too. I think there's another way you can look at that though too. Maybe he got the guarantee, that first round guarantee, or the guarantee that he wanted to remain in the draft from a certain team, and has decided to cancel other workouts. There's a school of thought, I think that could be the case, or maybe he's reportedly canceled him because he's going to pull out of the draft tomorrow and didn't want to waste any more teams' time with that. So, we'll have to see, but I can tell you, pretty sure he's not going to end up back at Iowa State.
Any idea, Bill, if it comes to that decision, or if it would have come to that decision, why is it strictly the money aspect or anything different? Why Iowa State just wasn't a part of it, where it felt like if he was coming back to college, it wasn't going to be in Ames, it was going to be somewhere else. Mm-hmm. Any idea the reasoning behind that?
Well, I think money is probably a big thing. If he, and especially with this 5-year rule, if there's some grandfathering in, if Milan is not going to improve his draft stock, or if his draft stock is what it is, whether it's now or I think if he comes back to college for another year, even goes for 2 years. If that grandfathering comes in, he could get a 2-year, $5 million per, like a $10 million guarantee from Kentucky. Well, I think that's going to be hard to pass down if he comes back to college. And I don't think Iowa State was probably in that position to do that level of NIL guarantee. And then I think you look at if Milan, if he's going to take, I hate to throw figures out here, guys. I don't know necessarily what Iowa State would have been in position to give him, but if it's significantly less, then he might as well just roll the dice, I think, and go through the draft process. If he's a second rounder, if he can get on a 2-way, and just go ahead and become a pro. And I think, he probably doesn't, in that scenario, doesn't make a whole lot less than he would have if he would have come back to Iowa State. But if you're looking at Kentucky or a Louisville or a St. John's, where he can get $5 million per and he gets 2 more seasons of eligibility, well, that's life-changing money right there. And he could just become a pro in a couple years and see what happens at that point.
21,
that all made sense.
Yep, no, it does. 21 years old. I'll be 22 in September. Obviously, age does not work against you, or work in your favor, rather, when you're part of the NBA draft. You're going through the process. So he would be one that would get grandfathered in and could potentially get that additional year. And if so, obviously, if you could make, say $10 million or $12 million in 2 years, playing a couple extra years of college basketball, assuming you get that extra year, that works out financially as opposed to schlepping through the G League and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole deal here is if he's going to come back to college, he wants to kind of max that out as much as he can, and that's big money right there. And I don't think Iowa State would have been in position to do that. So, but yeah, I mean, there's not really been any indications on if there will be a grandfathering in. I think some folks would not want to grandfather in because then you kind of go through that whole COVID year scenario and who's got what, and you're always, wondering. And then, but if they don't grandfather at these athletes in, then there's going to be a lawsuit.
For sure.
Let's face it.
There should be. Lipsy should
have to stand up in court.
Yes, Lipsy and his year, whoever played in that, was he a 22 or a 23? Whatever his year, they're the ones getting screwed because the COVID guys all get an extra year. Now these guys are going to get 5. There's 1 year of players that are going to not factor into that benefit. So I just wonder if that lawsuit's coming, because it would certainly make some sense that it does. But I just saw Jeff Goodman's just reporting that Milan Momcilovic is going to get potentially $7 million a year. And that came out 19 minutes from Jeff Goodman of Field of 68.
It's a pretty good chunk of change.
Pretty good chunk of change.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and it makes sense, I think, in that it's probably going to be Kentucky, I think, if that is indeed the case, because
they've missed on everyone.
What was it? Was the figure like 14? I think portal guys that Kentucky hosted, and they didn't get any one of them. Yeah. So I'm not sure what they're paying any of their incoming freshmen, but they've got money out there. They got money because they missed on so many guys in the portal, and Mark Pope needs to make a splash here. So I think $7 million. A very, very good possibility that ends up being the case.
Think of how it's changed, though, Trent. We just talked earlier about Kentucky being a blue blood and Kentucky. And 14 kids said no to Kentucky.
And also those prices got driven up by Kentucky that then they were able to get at other institutions. Yeah, 14 of the top 20 guys in the portal that took visits to Kentucky, they didn't land one of them. Tough sledding for Mark Pope. Hey, Bill, I want to ask you about a guy that I know you've written about a ton, Josiah Harrington, who's been committed for a while to Iowa State. He's an Iowa kid over at North Scott, over in the Quad Cities. Didn't get an opportunity. They got beat in the sub-state final by Prairie, so didn't make the state tournament. What can you tell us about him as a player? And we're looking deep into the future here, but very well regarded on the national scene.
Yeah. It was nice. I did make it down there on Friday evening to watch him play for the Brad Beal Elite Nike UIBL team. They were down. Session 3 was in Kansas City this past weekend, so I made it down there to watch him. His role for that team, I think, is more so probably as a 3-man type. Just with they've got 2 ball dominant guards right now. Jimmy McKinney is one of those guys. He was an Iowa State recruit for a little while. I think they've gone in different directions. So, but yeah, I mean, I was happy with what I saw. I think his ball handling is coming around. If he's a TJ recruit, you're always going to see the defense and the rebounding. I think that played out certainly in the game that I watched on Friday night. I wasn't afraid to crash the boards, made an impact on defense. He's got nice length, nice wingspan. Turned had a steal on defense. One possession I saw. Turned it around, ran the length of the floor and finished for 2 points. So I was pretty happy with his game. He didn't play last season. I think he was poised to be with Mocan, I believe, last year, but that didn't happen. He had the knee injury, missed all of spring and summer. So he's kind of making up for lost time right now. As you know, Trent, what you're seeing North Scott on a nightly basis as you go through that schedule compared to what you're getting in the EYBL. It's quite a step up in competition, but I think he's playing very well. I mean, just with those 2 ball dominant guards, though, a lot of possessions, he doesn't even touch the ball. So I think he's making the most, I guess you could say, making the most with the opportunities that he does have.
What is it like for you? I know our buddy Tom Kakert over at Hawkeye Report, he was also in Kansas City. What's it like for you media guys when you're covering an AAU event? I think all of us kind of have an idea because we see it on television, covering a basketball game, press row, wherever it is. What's it like covering an event like that?
Well, I think at the one in Kansas City, I really like being down there. I know a lot of the national recruiting guys, the analysts, they love going down to Memphis the weekend before just because it's a live period. Coaches are out. I mean, you've got basically every top program in the country times probably 2, maybe sometimes 3 coaches on each of those staffs is down there. I mean, it's just the environment down there is just, I mean, it's crazy. It's just insane. And then you go to Kansas City, coaches aren't allowed out that Memorial Day weekend, that holiday weekend. So it's a lot different. I think it's a lot easier, to get around and to watch a number of these guys play. For Iowa State, TJ casts such a small web for players. So I was really only down there to watch 3 players. So just because it's such a narrow focus in that 27 class. But, the other thing, it is kind of fun, Trent, I took my son down there with me. He was shooting some pictures and some video and stuff. And all the NBA players that are down there, the current, the former guys, a lot of the current guys are involved with those teams. Matt Barnes, for example, he was coaching a team. I believe Chris Paul's another one who coaches a team down there. I walked right by Trae Young going the other way. I think he's involved with one of the teams. Hakeem Olajuwon was down there to watch his sons. I believe he's got 2 that are in the 2028 class. So I was standing right behind Greg Oden. I mean, it was just it was incredible. Paulo, yeah, exactly. Paulo Banchero was down there. So I mean, it was just a who's who of ballers and current and former NBA players. So I mean, that part of it's really cool. There's not really coaches down there, so it was a lot easier, I think, to get an evaluation and kind of up close and personal with some of those Iowa State recruits.
Bill, we literally have 1 minute left. The Big 12 meetings are happening as we speak in Frisco. What's on the agenda? Do you expect anything to come of this? I know where they stand playoff-wise. They want to see it expand. What's on the agenda in Frisco for the Big 12 meetings? Do you have any idea, Bill, to what we should be watching for?
Yeah, I'm sure that that Yormark will have some opinions that get some eyeballs from across the country. It actually kicks off tomorrow, the 27th through the 29th. It's down in Frisco. We'll have some for those that are in person, and then over Zoom they'll have some sessions with women's basketball, men's basketball, football. And then it looks like on Friday, this will be the day after it wraps up, there's an availability around noon that day with Yormark and K-State President Richard Linton. So there will be a Zoom from that. So I'm sure plenty of news to come out of that here over the next 3 days as the Big 12 meetings go on down in Texas.
CycloneReport.com, part of Rivals/On3. CycloneReport.com, Bill Seals. Bill, thank you, man. I look forward to catching up with you. We do next Monday and hearing what you heard from the commission, et cetera, albeit it'll be a couple of days old. But thanks for what you do for us, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yep, you do the same. Bill Seals. CycloneReport.com. Take our final time out of hour number 1. Matt Snyder, MLB Talk, kicks off hour number 2. Miller and Condon on the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text EDGE to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text EDGE to 321-321. That's EDGE to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
48 countries.
Only one winner.
Yes! iHeartRadio and Fox Sports are bringing you every match of FIFA World Cup 2026.
Live. Every unforgettable moment wherever you are. Lock in your preset now on the free iHeartRadio app.
The world will be listening.
You know what your customers are doing right this second? The exact same thing you are, listening to me. Which, let's be honest, is kind of flattering. But my point is, ads on iHeartRadio actually get heard. In the car, at the gym, on the couch, while people are walking their dogs. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. That's right. You're a good boy. So why not make the next ad about you? Get started today. Call 844-844-iHeart or go to iHeartAdvertising.com. That's 844-844-iHeart or iHeartAdvertising.com.
Iowa Robotics has your yard covered. Their expert team installs and services advanced robotic mowers designed to handle lawns of any size, giving that manicured look without the work, offering reliable technology and local service you can trust. See how easy lawn care can be at iowarobotics.com.
My mission is improving lives, whether it's my team or my clients. And with so much turbulence in the world, can we really put a price tag on peace of mind? Your old buddy Brian here from Service Legends. And in my world, here's what peace of mind looks like to improve your life. So I pulled the data on our top-notch tune-ups from last year. 98.2% of the systems we maintained are still running like clockwork. I truly believe that's what homeowners like you really want. No breakdowns and getting the absolute most life out of your system. True peace of mind. I have so much confidence in my home comfort heroes and the job they do for Service Legends clients that I'm putting this ironclad 1-year guarantee on the line this summer. In the outside chance your AC does have a challenge after one of our top-notch tune-ups, I'm not only going to refund the cost of your tune-up, I will fix it for free. Look, not all AC tune-ups are created equal, and clearly not all guarantees are either.
Call 515-COMFORT. We fix it right or it's free. Service Legends.
I was already prepared to be impressed, but H&H Windows and Doors still exceeded my already high expectations installing our new door and windows. Yep, they are in, and the process from start to finish was quick and easy. The crew from H&H Windows and Doors was in and out in less than a day. Their attention to details like trim and paint makes it look like that brand new sliding glass door has always been in our home. And our new basement windows look so nice, we're getting an estimate to replace the rest of our windows too. H&H Windows and Doors is a small, locally owned family business, and they know how to take care of their customers. Ask about their interest-free financing and lots of options for every budget. One of the best things you could do for your home's energy efficiency, home value, and curb appeal is replace old windows and doors. Call H&H Windows and Doors today at 515-216-4901 or go to hhwindoor.com. Tell them Heather sent you in.
Ken Miller, Trent Condon, Miller and Condon on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
All right, Miller and Condon, final couple of minutes, our first hour of the program. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic still to come. Talk to Doc about the Big Ten meetings that just wrapped up in Palatial LA. Where are the Big 12 ADs and coaches staying? We saw where the Big Ten had set up shop. Guessing it won't be quite as nice.
Yeah, that
Red
was...
Roof Inn? I mean,
step up for that.
Step up?
I would think
Holiday
so.
Inn?
Keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I just saw trying to figure out what's going on down here. So the SEC and the Big Ten distributed about $70 million to each school that got a full share. The ACC was next. They got $47 million per school.
Okay.
The Big 12 is set to distribute $39.5 million.
So in our state, I was basically
almost twice as much,
doubling up Iowa State. How long does that continue? How long can that continue?
That's just it. Because as this guy puts in his piece, Armageddon comes 2030. The ACC, it's not as difficult to get out of their grant of rights.
Yep.
And the Big Ten contract is over.
Yes. That's when we're going to see, once again, it hit the fan.
Hopefully for your sake and your partners. It's May, June,
yes,
July.
Let's do it during that time.
Start middle of April,
absolutely.
if you would.
Yep.
But it seems like
get a lot of content.
It's not sustainable.
No,
because the Big Ten and the SEC, they're $70 million now. That's not going down.
No,
and the ACC's got a significant head start on you. Hour 2 coming up next. Matt Snyder on MLB, CBSSports.com. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic. Trent's Plays of the Day. Circus Sports sponsor those. And then coming up at 2 o'clock off the bench with Sean and Lucas, Miller and Condon, an hour to go on our program. Glad you're with us on the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Quick question. Want to go to Vegas with KXNO? We're giving away the Circa Silver Anniversary Experience. Flights, Circa Hotel, food money, stadium swim, sportsbook VIP access, and nights out with the KXNO crew. All for one lucky winner and a guest. And 5 more winners still get the Vegas hookup. You've got until June 28th to enter. Don't hear about it later. Be there. Only from KXNO and Circa. Sign up now at KXNO.com.
In Des Moines, Chase is proud to root for the home team because they're our team too. We cheer from the bleachers and on the sidelines. We cheer for gymnasts and quarterbacks. And with over 5,000 Chase branches nationwide, we're right beside you, Des Moines. Neighborhood bankers, digital tools, national strength. Chase, make more of what's yours.
JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA member FDIC.
80 years. That's how long Hawkeye Truck Equipment has been keeping Iowa's trucks on the job. To celebrate 8 decades, they're giving you a gift. Right now, get $80 off a Turbo Liner spray-on bed liner. Just pair it with the Truxedo Low Pro or Pro X15 tonneau cover for the ultimate bed protection. It's the perfect combo to keep your gear dry and your truck looking good. Also ask about their selection of scratch and dent toolboxes, along with other discount truck accessories. Don't wait, this anniversary sale at Hawkeye Truck Equipment won't last.
Get in on the action with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa is where the pros play. Enjoy the highest limits, lowest takeouts, and competitive betting menus. Download, fund, and bet from anywhere in Iowa. Circa Sports Iowa. Sports betting the way it should be. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com. Must be over 21 and present in Iowa to bet. Have a gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Urology Center of Iowa offers a full suite of men's health services from low testosterone to managing the effects of aging. UCI is the place to go when you want to be seen like a man, not like a patient. Schedule an appointment with UCI today at iowauro.com.
We want you to come with us. Yep, Mrs. C and I are going to the birthplace of Western civilization, the place where democracy started, where philosophy started, literature, art, and architecture, Greece. We're going to Athens, to Mykonos, to Santorini, September the 5th through the 15th. Walk through history with me and Mrs. C in Athens, the ancient heart of Greece, with a guided visit to the legendary Acropolis. Then we can all escape to Mykonos, where we will have a wonderful tour through the charming Mykonos town. And that's where we're rolling up our sleeves and doing a Greek cooking class. I can't wait. Next, we get to go to Santorini. It's one of the most breathtaking islands in the Aegean. This is Greece at its finest. Culture, cuisine, unforgettable beauty. Space is limited, so call my friends at Ally Travel today. 515-270-7070. That's 515-270-7070. All you have to do is pack your bags.
I've got a personal question. At what point did you stop calling it pain and start calling it, that's just how I am now? Well, that's not okay. And deep down, you know it. So let's get back the you who is active and carefree. And the medical team at QC Kinetics is ready to help with their long-lasting regenerative treatments for joint pain. My right knee was really bothering me from a couple of knee surgeries many years ago. And QC Kinetics got me walking, lifting, and golfing again pain-free. They're helping patients with pain from arthritis or injury in their knees, shoulders, hips, lower back. Now, all of these same people are moving, sleeping, golfing, and running without surgery or long recoveries. This is just getting back to being you. And the longer inflammation sits, the more damage it does. So let's schedule that free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics at 515-259-1227. That's 515-259-1227 for QC Kinetics. Tell them Heather said they could help.
At the Chicken Coop, we're starting from scratch.
That's right. We're dropping some new recipes along with your favorites, and they're all made from scratch.
Boneless wings and chicken tenders made from scratch when you order.
Get your spice on with our new Nashville hot chicken sandwich.
Or our new buffalo chicken sandwich.
Both made from scratch.
Don't forget our wings, made with 12 different sauces that are, you guessed it, made from scratch.
The Chicken Coop has the best chicken, and it's made from scratch in our kitchen.
Stop in or order online today.
KXNO AM Des Moines, KXNO FM Ankeny, KKDM HD2 Des Moines. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, sports talk, and podcasts. Miller and Condon on 106.3 KXNO is sponsored by TC Sports LLC.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. James Harden is one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. That much is undeniable. But when it comes to the postseason, it's getting harder and harder to blame anybody else for the results. At some point, the conversation has to shift towards accountability. Game 4, another brutal example. Harden finished with more turnovers than made field goals yet again. The talent around him has never been the issue. Over the course of his career, he's played with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell. Few stars in league history have played alongside that much high-level talent without finding a way to break through. That's what makes the criticism impossible to ignore. His greatness in the regular season is secure. His place among the best offensive players ever is cemented. But playoff basketball defines legacies, and right now, Harden's postseason struggles are becoming just as hard to separate from his career as his scoring brilliance. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. These days, everybody's searching for ways to save on insurance, scrolling comparison sites, digging through tips, chasing deals. But Liberty Mutual makes it simple. Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance to save you money. And when you bundle, those savings really start to come through. It's insurance built for real people with a team that helps you keep what matters most, money. No hassle, just confidence that your coverage is customized with savings in mind. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local independent agent. It's only natural. You see these golfers mistaking the True Green lawns for an actual golf course. Have you noticed that?
Come on.
No, I'm serious. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know what it takes to get golf course quality lawns.
So you're saying we could host a tournament out back?
Well, yeah, I guess we can. Get your own golf course quality lawn at truegreen.com. Truegreen.com. Let the pros handle the lawn. Just don't be surprised when golfers show up.
Congratulations to KXNO on their silver anniversary and 25 years on the air in Iowa, being the home of sports talk radio.
We're giving you a chance to experience everything Circa has to offer with a trip along with your favorite KXNO personalities.
The next KXNO Silver Ticket Tour will bring you to Las Vegas and Circa for 4 days, 3 nights. Go to KXNO.com to sign up and have a chance to experience Circa with KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
And we hope to see you soon at Circa.
Live from the TNT Landscaping and Nursery Studios, you're listening to 106.3 KXNO. 106.3 KXNO. Ken Miller and Trent Condon. It's Miller and Condon on the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Hour number 2, Miller and Condon. Welcome back, Iowa Sports Radio Network. Scott Dochterman from the Athletic, bottom of the hour. Trent's Plays of the Day. Circa Sports sponsor those about 10 minutes or so before 2 o'clock. Let's talk some baseball, shall we? Matt Snyder joins us in this time slot, Mondays or Tuesdays throughout the year, throughout the baseball season. And he's back with us today. Matt, Trent, and Ken, good to speak with you as always. I guess we have to start with the Cubs. Obviously, they moved the needle here in our market. I know you're a Cubs fan. Trent and I both. I'm a fan. I'll be honest. I like watching them. Like the broadcast when Boog's in it. I'm part of it. Anyways, the losing streak. They can't hit. The pitching staff is just totally decimated by injuries. Something has to give here. I'm not saying that Craig Counsell is going to walk the plank, but before long. You got to turn to the manager's office at some point because you're not going to fire the players. By the way, Matt's appearance brought to us by Unjuiced.bet. Where are you on the Cubs? Is Counsell's seat starting to get hot?
And so I don't know how you could watch the entire team playing right now and think it's Counsell's fault. But not only that, you're 4 games over 500. They're only a half game out of playoff position. The sequencing is I'm trying not to be hyperbolic here, or
I'll leave that to me.
Clouded by recency bias, but this is the most ridiculous sequencing I've ever seen. Like to have 2 10-game winning streaks and then a 9-game losing streak, and we're not even out of May yet.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, but the team started 27-12. They banked a lot of wins. That means that they were able to give some of them back and still not be drastically harmed in terms of a pursuit for a playoff spot. And I mean, look, 3.5 games out of first right now, even with how good the Brewers have been playing. So it feels awful. It feels like everything is terrible. But you know, as a fan, you always, you know, you pine for drastic measures. We need to do this. We need to do this. But like analytically speaking, logically speaking, what do? Probably just keep doing the same thing that you've been doing, and things are going to turn around. And they're not near as good as they were when they won 20 out of 23, but they're not near as bad as they've looked ever since then. So somewhere in the middle is probably where they'll settle.
Don't think there's going to be a firing of Craig Counsell. I don't think you're going to even see a hitting coach move on. But
first base coach is in trouble.
The question that I had, though, and when Ken and I kind of batted this around back earlier in the show, was Jed Hoyer and the front office. And when you look at the hitting free agents that they brought in, Bregman's good right now. Is it going to be sustainable? We will see. But overall, has that been, I guess, maybe the biggest culprit of why this offense overall over this last half decade or so hasn't taken a huge step forward? It's just those veterans haven't hit at the rate a lot of people expected. Dansby Swanson, obviously, one of those prime examples.
Well, I kept saying it was before they acquired Kyle Tucker that they had basically an entire cast of supporting cast types, using the movie analogy, and they didn't have any main characters. When they went out and they got Kyle Tucker, he's a main character. I don't think anymore Alex Bregman is. He was at one point, but I don't think he is anymore. So that means we're back to they just have an entire cast of supporting cast types. And you could say that about the pitching staff as well. Maybe Cade Horton was going to be more than that, but he went down and he's out for the year. So you're a mega market team, and your entire identity right now is built around a bunch of pretty good players, but no superstars. That's no way to go about things. I don't think. I mean, if you go back to when the Cubs won the World Series, Chris Bryant won MVP. Anthony Rizzo was a superstar, no doubt. Javier Baez at times could play like a superstar. And then you go to the rotation and you've got, Kyle Hendricks led the league in ERA. John Lester was a Cy Young candidate. It's up and down the list. This team doesn't have guys who can win games by themselves. It's a group. And when the group is slumping like this, you're going to pile up the losses. So the funny thing is, when Ken mentioned his Craig Counsell seat getting hot, my thought went to, if I were going to make any drastic changes like that and I were Tom Ricketts, the person I would fire would be Jed Hoyer.
There's TC. Yeah, spot on. Who is the superstar potential? Like, you're right. I mean, it's not going to be Bregman anymore. It's passed Swanson by. Happ, nice player, Gold Gloves. He's got a bunch of them. He's probably going to get another one in his career. PCA would be the guy I would think, but I'm not so sure he can get there. Obviously, I mean, watching him throw the ball in the outfield, getting that guy down at third base the other day was just remarkable. What he does running and catching balls is incredible. He made a couple errors lately, though, but it's the batting, I think, that's probably going to preclude that. Has he got a chance to hit that megastar status at some point?
The first half last year, if he hit like that all the time, he would be a top 5 MVP candidate perennially. But I think it's entirely possible that we saw the best half he's ever going to have in his career. Because remember, heading into the year on this very show, we were talking about, hey, what's his upside? And I said, 15, 20 homers, maybe hit for low average, steal a lot of bases. And then he hit over 30. But it was so first half heavy. I think he was just out of his mind for one half, and we're not going to see that anymore. If there's anybody offensively who can be that guy, it might have to be Seiya Suzuki. But he's, like everybody else, has been broken for 2 weeks.
And how old is he? He's
maybe
in his
Michael
30s.
Bush, maybe Michael Bush too. But
So we know the Brewers are the Brewers, and they're just trot out guys that strike out everybody. And Mizorowski was tremendous again yesterday, 12 strikeouts. He looks like the guy that we saw right when he was brought in a year ago. And the depth that they have. What about the Cardinals? We've talked now, it feels like for a month. Is this thing sustainable? Well, we've passed the first check mark of the year. Are the Cardinals going to be hanging around in your mind throughout the course of the season?
They might be starting to hit that regression a little bit. They've lost 5 of 7 and 4 of 5. They were pretty well dominated by the Brewers yesterday. They've got 2 more against the Brewers. Then it's Cubs. We might well have started to see that regression, but no, I still don't really like that pitching staff. I think offensively they've had a lot of good signs this season and a lot of things that between Weatherholt and Jordan Walker, especially early in the year, Herrera, they've got some bats in there, and they've got some guys like Mason Wynn who can play great defense. But I don't know if there's legs to this thing to last all year in the playoff race. I do think that if they do end up in last place in the Central, and by no means is that a foregone conclusion because the Cubs look awful right now. Yep. The Pirates and Reds have just kind of settled into mediocrity. But if they do end up in last place, they might be the best last place team.
Yeah, right now the last place teams that are here's the underachievers. The Mets are in last place. The Tigers are in last place. The Red Sox are in last place. So let's go to the Tigers. If Skubal is that surgery is the miracle that we're led to believe that it is, and he's going to be back
for us,
right? But if he is, and he does get back on the bump before the All-Star break, and that looked unlikely when it first happened, Skubal is probably not going to end up as a Detroit Tiger by the time the trade deadline comes and goes. Do you believe that he would be shopped aggressively, and who would be some of the pursuers?
Absolutely, without question. If things stay the way they are right now, 10 games out of first place, they're in last place. They've lost something ridiculous, like 16 out of 19 games. Just horrific. Where's the third wild card in the AL? Okay, I think it's Whiteside. 6.5 games out of wild card. They probably need to fall to around double digits. And then I absolutely think that, yes, they're not going to keep him in free agency, so they will let the bidding get going there. Unfortunately, I could see the Dodgers jumping in there and blowing everybody away just to make sure that nobody else can get him. The Braves, I wonder if the Braves don't have what's known as a very good farm system. But if you look at the Braves right now, and I know they've gotten great work from Bryce Elder and Martin Perez to this point, but if you look at their roster right now and you think this is a team that wants to win the World Series, for a playoff rotation, Chris Sale and Spencer Strider could be a pair of aces.
There's a couple.
How about a third ace? How about a third ace in Skubal? That I feel like that would be a really good fit.
That would be a great landing spot for him. Is there another? Do you think there would be a National League team? I mean, if an American League team blows them away, they'd have to deal them.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Who would that be? And don't say the Yankees.
Nah, they're going to be good pitching-wise. I mean, Rodon's back, Cole's back. Schlittler looks great. I could see the Blue Jays. As long as they hang around there, I could see the Jays going for it. And you've already – once everybody's healthy there – but there's going to continue to be questions about Bieber. But, man, Gossman, Savage, if you get Cease back and Bieber back. But I think that there's a good fit there. And then you look at the playoffs. And, again, like we said with the Braves, you have Skubal at the top, and then Gossman sees Savage. Wow, my bad. That's a really, really stout top four. Of course, they need to start playing better overall, but this is about the time it happened last year when things started to turn around.
Hey, I just saw something yesterday. I think it was watching ESPN on the bottom line. Wander Franco, who looked like a star in the making. The extortion case against him, we might be talking still 2, 3, 4 years down the line, but is there any pathway for him to get back to baseball in the States?
Not serving jail time, Trent.
My hunch is no.
Okay.
I think that this is, I mean, we're seeing an essential blackballing of Trevor Bauer, and this feels like the optics are even worse than that. So my hunch is that he's done and he threw his life away. So, yeah.
Yeah, he had such a chance.
Gosh, he's still only 25.
It's unbelievable. A was going to break the bank, and B was going to be the All-Star year after.
Yeah.
This guy had the.
Well, he did. He got that huge deal from the Rays, but then it got voided because of this. So yeah, I don't have any reporting on that, and time can heal wounds at times. He's only 25, so even like 8 years down the road. But my hunch is that he's done.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Padres seem to have turned a corner now. They lost 4 of 6 last week. Not saying that they're going to beat the Dodgers, but if there is a team that's going to push the Dodgers out west, doesn't it feel like it has to be the Padres?
Yes, and I continue to say it's unbelievable how bad Machado, Merrill, and Tatis have been, and they're still winning games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking about Fernando Tatis Jr. with 0 home runs right now. 0. Slugging 297. Jackson Merrill's hitting 198. Manny Machado's hitting 170. How are they winning any games? That's their core.
Do you think the Tatis court case when he took the company that do you remember, the story? He was a 17-year-old prospect at the time. He gave up X amount of his salary to this firm who was willing to front him millions of dollars.
Right, yeah.
Right?
In case you get injured. It was like an insurance policy.
Exactly. And he took that company to court saying that, he was young, he was naive, he didn't know what he was getting into. Now, he just lost that case heading into last weekend. Do you think that maybe was on it? Because he's way better than this, right?
Yeah, he is. I have no idea if that would affect or not. Sometimes these things can snowball mentally anyway. If you start thinking about why am I not hitting any home runs, and that's a good recipe to not hit any home runs moving forward. It might be another one. It might be a thing where it just needs to snowball. Hey, if he gets one, then maybe he gets really, really hot. But I mean, it didn't work with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He hit, it moved him in the order, and then he hit one. And it's like, okay, now the floodgates are open. No, he hasn't hit one since. The funny thing on Tatis is his exit velocities are right in line with past years, but he's not hitting anything in the air. He's hitting like all hard ground balls and line drives.
Got a Dodgers.
So again, that might be a mental block.
Dodgers question for you. I saw their scoreless inning streak of the bullpen came to a close. And it felt like the last few years when we're trying to poke holes in the Dodgers, a lot of times it would be that bullpen. It's just so different in October. This bullpen looks like it's going to get even better. Jack Dreyer, Iowa guy, he's going to be coming back for him here pretty soon. He's been outstanding when he's been out there. When we get to October baseball, it's different than the regular season. How big is the gap between the Dodgers and everybody else in October?
Yeah, Edwin Diaz will be.
Forgot about him.
Yeah, so they're definitely the best team when they're fully healthy and fully functional. I mean, we saw what the rotation could do last year, and now it looks like the bullpen is going to be fixed. Offensively, they still have so much upside. You can get stuff like Andy Pages with a major breakout season, leading the majors in RBIs with 11 home runs right now and everything. But I don't think it's significant enough that we're going to see like them run the table very easily without being challenged or anything like that. They took 2 of 3 in Milwaukee, but hey, the Brewers got a game. And we saw the Blue Jays. Sorry, Ken, but you know it. The Blue Jays probably should have won that World Series last year. So I could see it being similar. I could see them three-peating, but I could see somebody taking them the distance and getting that final out instead of giving up a game-tying home run in the 9th this time. So they are the best suited team to win it all. But things don't always go that way. I mean, we saw them with 111 wins in the regular season a couple of years ago, and they got beat in the NLDS. So they'll be the best team, but by no means do I think it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Atlanta's going to push them, especially if they get Skubal.
Yeah.
I love that that thought. If that happens, obviously the Brewers. I know they swept them last year.
If the Brewers are hot at the right time,
right? Yeah. Brewers can give them a run. That would be. Who's the team on the outside of the playoffs? Maybe not like a half a game out, but is there a team that you look to wake up? Do you think that don't sell this team short? This team's about to go on a run. Is there a team that's on the outside looking in right now?
Yeah, there's a few. Both of the ALCS teams from last year. I still have the Mariners in the West. They're 26 and 29, but they're only a game and a half out of first because that division's so bad.
Okay.
I can't believe that Cal Raleigh is going to continue to be this bad.
Exactly.
And when he starts to look like not last year's self, we're never going to see that guy again. But when he starts to look like the 2024 version of Cal Raleigh, that's going to give the offense a boost. Josh Naylor still is better than he's been hitting. With Julio and Arozarena, that's a really good lineup. They've got a good rotation. The Mariners are going to be the AL West champs again. And the Jays, like I've been saying, they're better than this. It's still a long season, and they have the added bonus of being able to say, this is exactly where we were last year in the clubhouse. And mentally, that can do wonders for you. It's easy to say, yeah, we've still got plenty of time. We can turn it around. But sometimes that's just lip service. Well, the Jays know it. They were about at this point last year at this time, and they ended up in Game 7 of the World Series.
And I think they got the second richest owner in baseball. The richest owner, not that it's working on Steve Cohen for the Mets.
No.
Yeah.
And by the way, since we're on that conversation on teams that can turn around, I am pretty ready to bury the Mets.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is just every time it looks like, oh, hey, they started to play well. They've got an easy stretch in front of them now. They go out and they start stacking losses again. So I'm pretty much done with saying that there's any hope.
Two dark horses in the American League that you didn't mention. The Rangers and the Orioles coming into the year. Now, 2 years ago, I bought into the O's and I was dead wrong. They were terrible last year. Rangers, Ken has bought me into this team the last 2 years. They can't hit. Any hope for either Baltimore or Texas to turn it around in what is a wide open race in the American League to just make the playoffs? Heck, you win 81 games. That might be good enough. Any hope for the Rangers or the Orioles?
Yeah, so on the Orioles, if you went back to the second half of 2024, they were pretty bad. Last year, they were pretty bad. At some point, that's just who you are. Even with the new players there, I think this is just, they're not very good. And it's as simple as that. So no, I'm out on the Orioles.
And they're in the wrong division.
Yeah, that doesn't help. I mean, especially because I expect the Blue Jays to be better. The Yankees are obviously not going anywhere. And even if the Rays are worse than their record says right now, they're still not going to be bad. So the Orioles are ticketed for 4th or 5th there. Rangers, man, what an embarrassing stretch right now to go into Anaheim and get swept by the Angels and then get a combined no-hitter from the Astros last night. I don't believe in this Rangers team. I liked the pitching staff at the start of the year, and maybe they can still pitch, but as you said, they can't hit. I mean, even when Corey Seager comes back, if he becomes the Corey Seager from 2023, there's only so much that can do for them. They just do not have a good offensive ball club at all.
Matt Snyder, CBSSports.com, talks baseball with Trent and I to kick off every single week in this segment. Back at you on Monday next week if your schedule allows. Matt Snyder, love the conversation. Thanks for what you do for us. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your week, Matt. Thank you, man.
All right, take care, guys.
Yeah, good to talk to you. Matt Snyder, Unjuice.bet sponsors Matt's weekly segment as we talk MLB.
And if you've been noticing here over the last few weeks, we have been heating up with those prop bets.
You and Lucas. Lucas uses it too, right?
Yes, he does. And his picks every single day at the end of their program also is there. So over the last week, prop bets, we are 14, 10, and 2.
Stop betting games.
Stop betting games.
Do you enjoy betting props, though?
I do.
More so than betting a game?
Not as much.
Yeah.
But it's been much more profitable.
If you're making money, I mean, yeah, right. It moves way up.
Over the last month since Unjuice.bet has joined us, up 6.24 units on prop bets. And it's just finding different things. So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. If you're just a baseball person and you like I do, I like betting strikeout totals. Well, what it spits out, you go over to the prop center, you click on K's, and then it will tell you right now who are the quote-unquote best bets analytically for the day. You have an edge today, and this will be one that'll be playing later on today. Cam Schlitter, over 5.5 strikeouts.
And where are the Yankees?
They're taking on KC down in Kansas City at Kauffman. Over 5.5, your edge, considered what the sports book is spitting out compared to what the actual numbers say, you have a 14.6% edge. They're not all going to hit.
No,
that's not the way that it works.
Yeah.
But when you work through this, Spencer Strider, 6.5 strikeouts, a 14.9% edge. It tells you each and every one of those individual ones. Maybe you're not into the strikeouts. You like to bet on hits, or you want to take a flyer on home runs. All there on the prop center, Unjuice.bet. It's got basketball. It's got baseball. It'll have football coming up this season. It is a great tool for you in the prop betting market. Plus, you just want to make money arbitraging? They have that for you too. Unjuice.bet.
Yeah, I think more people are starting to get into that, especially if you just make a little, but you keep making a little, that adds up. It's 1:25. Scott Dochterman next from The Athletic. We will recap what Doc heard last week in California as he was part of the... Now, I'm guessing Doc didn't stay there, right?
He did not. I did hear him say that, no, he did not stay at the same resort. Well,
the room rates for $790 a night.
That's the New York Times. They can pick it up, right?
Yeah. 125. Miller and Condon back with Scott Dochterman. Trent's plays of the day still to come. Thank you to Matt Snyder. Unjuiced.bet sponsors Matt. Miller and Condon on Des Moines Sports Station 106.3 KXNO.
The world's largest sports book in Las Vegas is available right at your fingertips in Iowa. Trent Condon here for Circa Sports. The Circa Sports Iowa app is sports betting the way it should be. Bet anywhere in Iowa and experience high betting limits, tight money line splits, and exceptional customer service. Download your new bookie today. Visit circasports.com and start betting like a pro from anywhere in Iowa. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
It happens only once a year in Las Vegas.
Our legendary iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One,
is back. One stage, 2 nights.
Are you ready? Featuring the biggest names in music. Live, loud, and always full of surprises.
We're getting this party going, huh?
Hear it live on iHeartRadio and streaming live on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Listen for the reveal of our 2026 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Tuesday morning, June 2nd at 7.
Congressional districts change. Lines get redrawn, but some things you can still count on, like AM and FM radio. The most reliable ways to reach people where they live with voices they trust across towns, cities, and congressional districts. At iHeart, we connect with more Americans than anyone in audio. Ready to take your message to your current and future voters? Partner with iHeart, and we'll combine radio with our podcasting and digital assets and get working for you. Start today. Call 844-844-iHeart or visit winwithiheart.com.
It's not that dangerous out there.
What are the chances?
It seems like crashes only happen to someone else until a crash changes everything in an instant. Maybe it's time to change our mindset. You never know what might happen, so I always buckle up.
I am a good driver, but I could stand to slow down a bit.
So buckle up, slow down, drive sober, pay attention. Don't lose what drives you. Brought to you by the Iowa Department of Transportation.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. What are your rights and responsibilities? Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
Hey guys, it's us, the Jonas Brothers. I'm Joe.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Nick. And guess what? We created our own podcast called Hey Jonas.
We invented a podcast?
Well, we didn't invent it. We just contributed to it.
We're the first people to do podcasts. We get to ask other people questions because we're sick and tired of being asked questions.
Well, sick and tired is a strong way to put it, but you know.
Tired and sick.
Tired and sick.
Listen to Hey Jonas on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Hey Jonas and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
After a rough Iowa winter, your roof took a beating. Don't wait for leaks. Get your free inspection and estimate from Wolf Roofing. We'll make sure your home is ready for spring and beyond. Find them online, wolfroofing.net. Wolf Roofing, strong roofs, done right.
More with Miller and Condon in 60 seconds, right here on 106.3 KXNO.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Miller and Condon on 106.3 KXNO and the Iowa Sports Radio Network.
Hi, Miller and Condon. Welcome back. 1:30 on a Tuesday. Trent's Plays of the Day still to come. Circus Sports sponsor those. Top of the hour, Off the Bench with Sean and Lucas. Scott Dochterman back from California. Writes for The Athletic, joins us to talk about the Big Ten meetings as they happened last week. Hello, Scott, Trent, and Ken. Trust you had a nice Memorial Day weekend. Appreciate you coming on as we always do. Looking forward to this segment, Doc. Wanted to recap what you heard, what you thought you heard perhaps. What was maybe the biggest takeaway? And I won't get into more than one, but if you could put the one that maybe moved your needle more than the others, what would that have been, Scott?
It's the 2014 playoffs. I mean, that was really generated the most discussion among certainly the football coaches and the administrators and what it means. But then there's also all kinds of governance issues that make for boring talk radio, but are really important to the sport as a whole. But I would say largely the 2014 playoff is what most people fixed on and did so when Tony Petitti was talking for almost an hour.
Something that we hadn't seen a lot from Tony Petitti, and I want to get to that momentarily. But with the 2014 topic, we've talked here locally in the state of Iowa. This would be a huge win for the University of Iowa in the football program. They would have, over the last decade, made the college football playoff 6 times if we had that structure. So that's good. It's a win for the middle tier of a lot of these major conferences. And now you have the backing of the ACC and the Big 12. How important is that? Because for a while it was the Big 10 on that island. And how was Tony Petitti able to get the ACC and the Big 12 on board with the idea of this 2014 playoff?
I can only speculate with the other two leagues because they don't really have a voice other than, they could say yay or nay, but they're not going to be the deciding people in making that, which is unfortunate, but it's the way it goes. It's going to be the Big 10 and SEC. But how he got his own conference and all of the school unanimous is that it benefits more teams. And I mean, more programs have an ability to get to the playoff. That's more of a destination now. The bowl system is kind of archaic, if you will. Where 15, 20 years ago, every game in November was like, all right, and one more win and you get to this bowl and you get this bowl. Nobody cares now. It's just, I mean, if you go to a bowl game, fine, but it's not the playoff. And so I calculated it that I think there would be 61 different teams if it was over the 12 years of the CFP. If it was 16-team playoff, there would be 61. If there was a 2014 playoff, there'd be 80 different teams that would have qualified. So you look at, and in the Big Ten, that would have been 14 out of the 18 schools. The ones that would not have would have been Maryland, Rutgers, Nebraska, and Purdue, which would have been on the border the year it won the Big Ten West title in 2022. So everybody would benefit out of that. And I think what the Big 12 and ACC at, and they should, especially the Big 12, is that when you go back through and see even what it would be like if there was a 16-team playoff, probably the cap are 2 teams from the Big 12 currently getting in, because even if you got a 10-2 Kansas State versus an 8-4 Auburn or 8-4 Michigan, there's going to be a lot of discussion over strength of schedule. Hey, we played a much tougher schedule, blah, blah, blah. But if you get to 24 teams, that number goes from maybe 2 to 6 or 7. And, a team like Iowa State last year at 8-4, if a few things happen differently, maybe in the middle, you can make a really strong case that Iowa State belongs in the top 24. And then a lot of other schools have the same, could have the same argument or discussion. So if you got that many more teams with that kind of access, I think it's easy to make that case rather than, for a team like Ohio State, which is probably the most tepid of the programs. Ryan Day specifically said, I'm not so sure it's good for Ohio State, but it's good for the Big Ten and it's good for college football. So, that's why that most of the teams and most of the schools have rallied around that. And I assume that's a real strong reason why the ACC and Big 12 as well, because it'll get teams with probably at least 9 wins really into that conversation.
Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, and Nebraska.
That's the company your Huskers keep, Ken.
The mighty have fallen. My God. Unbelievable, Doc, when you put it that way. I'm guessing that didn't go over very well in Lincoln, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, my gosh. Fascinating. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic is joining us. Doc, you did also in the piece kind of your recap from the weekend from your stay out in L.A., you did put in, Trent and I kind of tossed this around, if the championship goes away, will there be any, you're not manipulating, but we'll be able to flex games? Would we come up with matchups that would make sense? The Pac-12 is going to try it this year, as you pointed out. I love the idea, but that is off the table when it comes to the Big Ten, Doc?
Yeah, that's one that they kind of decided against. And I think part of it is what Ohio State, Michigan means to the Big Ten. And that is, it's such an important game. And it generates the highest ratings of any regular season game, and it has 4 out of the last 5 years, and it will continue to be in that category. So to remove it from the final weekend would be a little bit, it would work out for the Big Ten in that regard. And then the other thing that's really kind of interesting to me is about Ohio State, Michigan. The last time that they met in a winner-take-all division championship game for the Big Ten was in 2007. Because in 2011, they went to divisional play. They weren't in the same division for 3 years. Then for 10 years, they were. And then the last couple, they haven't been, but haven't reached at the same time. So you can make the case that Ohio State, Michigan will have more riding on it now than it has in the last 2 decades. And it could be winner take all. It could be Ohio State's 8-0, Michigan 6-2, and Michigan beats them to prevent them from being a sole champion or something like that. So there's a lot that in that game and rivalry weekend. I like the idea of a flex. Maybe even put it the second to last weekend would be kind of fun. But in this case, they're not interested in that.
Disappointing to say the least. So we wrap up the Big Ten. We got the Big 12 coming up. SEC is happening now. Is Greg Sankey need to get maybe his coaches in line? I saw another a poll that was put out. The coaches prefer going above 16 as opposed to what's happening in the office. And kind of in lockstep there, we know the SEC feels like they're holding very firm. They don't want to go to 24. How much does TV and the rights that ESPN has for the college football playoff up to 16 teams in the playoff, how much is this playing into that with the relationship with ESPN and the SEC?
That's got something to do with it, no question about it. I mean, the ESPN owns SEC Network. It is, when it acquired sole possession of SEC rights. It's it's not only the flagship. I mean, it is really the ESPN and SEC seem to be, at least in this sport, one and the same. So the fact that if it goes on 16 teams, that it goes up for bid, and ESPN/ABC isn't going to be the sole rights holder, or if they are, they're going to have to pay through the nose for them. It does say something because they're partners and they work together. But I'll say this, that there is a lot more support for it in the SEC than what Greg Sankey has said. I don't know how much of it's public posturing, if it's, we need to talk about this, if it's some sort of measurement that before he agrees that he needs to talk to Tony and get concessions from Tony Petitti about it.
That's how I see it.
The easy one, and I wrote about this too in my takeaways, was the Big Ten is the only conference now that doesn't have every team playing at least 10 power conference teams, which is so weird because a few years ago it was flipped. And according to AJ Eads, he used to play at Iowa, but he's the VP of football administration. There's no pressure to put on that at all. Now, I see that as more of a line publicly, that if Greg Sankey goes, okay, we'll agree to 24 if everybody plays 10, done. It's going to happen, Yeah. So that, and to top this off as well, there were some questions of Tony Petitti about, well, why don't you just go to 16 now and see what the assurances are with 24? And he's like, we're not thinking about 16. We're thinking about straight 24. And the way I look at it is, and some people are like, he's so hard-headed about this. And I don't look at it that way at all. I look at it as, why would he negotiate from concessions already when he believes that this is the best one? And it may get there, but it's not really what he wants to do. So why give a hint that he's willing to concede on something when that's not what he wants to concede on at all? So I kind of understand, and everything's a negotiation, and we'll know how it happens. But if they went to 20 and say the first weekend there were 4 games of 8 teams and call it a wild card round, and then they go to the playoff, that'd be kind of interesting too. But that hasn't been discussed.
Doc, so if we do get to that mandated 10 Power 4 opponents, that bodes well for Cyhawk, wouldn't you say?
It yes and no. I mean, Iowa's going to play 10 probably no matter what. And yeah, I think that it probably means that it's going to continue. And I think it will continue as long as Kirk Ferentz is the coach. Mm-hmm. As far as the future goes, it's hard to say, but, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they're under contract at least through 2027, if I recall correctly.
You're right. Yep, you're right.
If there was also some murmurs about a 10-game conference schedule, is that just in the infancy of that, and more we're going to have to see how this playoff plays out? Do you think that is something where maybe you'll be looking at the next television contract for the Big Ten?
Yeah, that didn't gain, that got out there, and it didn't gain really much traction. I didn't think. I was kind of surprised when I saw it became kind of an issue. But yeah, they discuss everything, and but I also don't. I just don't see that being a situation. Now, maybe it's something to leak to put pressure on the SEC, because the Big Ten, if they do that, I don't much of an opportunity to go play outside the conference. Games are just going to play against one another, and the SEC will have some good games with the ACC, but the marketable opponents aren't quite as strong in the other leagues, and so that could be just kind of a trial balloon to leak out there. But I don't see that as a realistic option at all. Just about everybody's fine with 9 at this point.
Scott Dochterman joining us. Doc, last thing on this topic, the college football calendar. It seems like there's a movement now because the championship game is, I think, January 27th, right around there this year in Las Vegas at Legion. That is not a lot of folks starting to think that's just too late in the year. Do you see that did these meetings move in the direction of a shorter calendar? Was that a big topic?
Yeah, that was Ryan Day that was his number one thing. That's what the football coaches have been talking about. And frankly, that's what Petiti was as well. And some of the other administrators, which is that they've had to adjust so many different times to so many different things, whether it's, all right, we're going to make week 0 part of the schedule, and we're going to add, extra rounds of playoffs, and we're going to do this, but it never really addresses the calendar itself. And you're talking about such crazy overlap with the transfer portal, and they're trying to get their rosters together for the following year. And they still go to school, so they're going to have to try to get them in a class and all that sort of thing, that they want the season to end earlier. And that is, pretty much impressed upon everybody that in the future, if there is going to be a 2014 playoff, that it's going to end in early January. And kind of the calendar that, I don't know, I guess was discussed hypothetically was, you end your season on Thanksgiving weekend. The first weekend in December is first round. Second weekend in December is the second round, and both rounds are on campuses. So that would be, 16 total on-campus games in the first 2 rounds. Then it gets a little tricky because you got to go up against the NFL. And in week 3, and they've shown no qualms about putting their best teams on that weekend head-to-head with college football because they can. They're the NFL, and you're not. They're your best looking buddy who goes to a bar with you in college, and no matter who you're talking to, he knows he can hang out with that person. So.
Well put.
The Big Ten of the SEC, they are definitely those guys. And with it, Jamie Pollard created some headlines. I know that was a conversation piece for the Big Ten people that were out there with you in LA, but it goes back to what we look at with the College Sports Commission and this cap. That's not a cap. It's a joke. It's not real. We see not just SEC and Big Ten schools, but Texas Tech and Miami and the people with the means that are going past it. What does the future look like? And with NIL and everything, what was your takeaway on that front? I know for a lot of people, it makes your head hurt. So try to help me out, because it does mine sometimes too.
Yeah, it makes my head hurt. So I can't imagine what it's like for people who don't study this. But they're trying to make it work. It's legitimate. They're not trying to skirt it. And when you talk about like the Nebraska situation, I mean, there is a clause to go to arbitration for the athletes. It's not so much for the schools fighting it. It's really more about the athletes being able to ensure that they get their money and they work it. So some of these battles are healthy. They're part of the system. It's not just supposed to be gladiator and flips his thumb up or thumbs down on people. I mean, so that they don't see that as much of a problem. Now there's so many aspects to whether to try to get some sort of wage control underway. I mean, of course, who knows what kind of collusion that entail unless they get something from Congress, which last week they were hoping the SAVE Act gets it back on there, and it didn't. It got pulled from the floor, so they kind of hope that at some point it does return. So that's a lot of stuff kind of going on, and I understand. I think Jamie's frustration is obvious, and I think for some people that at the Big Ten, they weren't like mad. They were just kind of like, hey, we're all frustrated here, and let's just kind of I don't understand what he wants to break away for, but and it probably wouldn't behoove Iowa State to be in the break away category. So, but was it off the cuff, and was it just a lash out frustration wise? We've seen that from Jamie before. Sure, I think that's probably the case, but I don't know that was what the Big Ten was thinking, because they were all sharing in his frustration, but that's really not the way to put it.
Good stuff. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic. Doc, what will you be writing this week that we can look forward to?
Well, I think we'll have some TV kickoff time.
Awesome.
Coming out in the next day or two.
Cyhawk?
Cyhawk,
one of them?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
he'll definitely be one of them.
All right.
So, it might be a long day for people, I think.
Nice.
And then I think that, I'm also working on, I talked to a lot of basketball coaches while I was out there. So I'm kind of right about how basketball impacts, how what it's kind of on their mind. And among them was Ben McCollum. And he was kind of talking about how he's trying his best to get home games against other power institutions, and they're all saying no. And everybody's kind of going through that right now. So they're trying to line up some neutral site games, but is that really the healthy way to schedule? So I'm writing about that sometime this week.
Good stuff. Scott Dochterman from The Athletic. Doc, thank you as always. Appreciate it. We will run you down next week if your schedule allows. Thank you, Scott Dochterman. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate it, guys.
Good to talk to you. Interesting. So
Yes.
Did you get that kind of feeling?
I mentioned that last week to
You did?
Yeah.
That it's for sure going to happen?
There's nothing for sure until the press release comes out.
So what time are we kicking off?
6:30 on NBC.
6:30 on NBC.
That's my speculation. This is not reporting.
Nope.
We are not reporters. Scott Dochterman, he's a reporter.
Right.
We're a couple of knuckleheads talking into microphones.
Yeah.
That is different circumstances.
It is. So, and by the sounds of things, we're going to know this in the next day or so listening to that?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
How many weeks will we get?
First 3, just like we normally do. Yeah, we get the non-conference games. They usually have homecoming on there. So potentially get a start time for that one. Maybe also get the Black Friday game. I think I have this one locked as well.
So the Black Friday game is hopefully going to kick off at 11. Please tell me that's right.
Yes.
Good.
Because if you look through the slate, there's already a couple of games that are scheduled.
Okay.
You got Texas A&M, Texas. That's a night game.
Yeah.
Egg Bowl is also 11 o'clock on ABC. There's only, I think, 3 games maybe that are not announced kickoff time, including that. Well, CBS has had that game the last couple of years. Now, NBC, remember, had it 2 years ago when it was at Kinnick. But it'll be one of those two. Either, I believe, 11 o'clock on CBS or 6:30 on NBC.
Homecoming. Purdue is in Iowa City in the middle of November. That's too late.
It's Wisconsin is homecoming.
It's going to be Wisconsin?
Yes.
On Halloween?
On Halloween. Don't think you're going to get a night game for that one. But
Yeah.
boy, that would be fun.
How many games? Obviously, the Iowa State game, if you're right, and I believe you will be. And I'm talking about Kinnick. The road game's another story. Ohio State, where's that going to be? Is that big noon kickoff?
That's going to be big noon.
Yeah.
I went through on my Locked On Hawkeyes podcast for today, my guesses for all the games.
Nebraska early.
Yep.
Purdue doesn't matter. It'll be a Big Ten.
11
network at
BTN.
11.
Yep.
Wisconsin. So homecoming would be what time? Middle of the afternoon?
I had that one 11 on FS1. I had CBS for the Illinois road game, 2:30. And
what about at Washington on the 10th of October?
That's already been announced, that Friday night.
That's right. They
8
moved to
o'clock.
Friday. Yeah.
And I think you're going to get the first Big Ten game, the road game in Ann Arbor. I think that's going to not be the big noon game, because I think that's going to be the following week with Ohio State coming to town.
Under the lights on NBC?
I think it's going to be 2:30 because big noon that week, not an awesome slate of Big Ten games. Purdue hosts Notre Dame. Fox does not get Notre Dame very often.
No, they want as bad as the game's going to be.
Yes, here's their opportunity.
But you want the game like that, knowing that it's going to be a blowout.
It's Notre Dame, and it's going to be a really good Notre Dame team.
No, that's what I mean. It's going to be a really bad Purdue team.
But it's Notre Dame.
Back to wrap it up. Trent's Plays of the Day are next. Miller and Condon, Iowa Sports Radio Network.
This June, the Legends of Golf return to Des Moines. The 2026 Principal Charity Classic at Wakanda Club, June 10th through 14th, where legends of the game compete, and every swing helps support Iowa youth. Bring the whole family. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now at principalcharityclassic.com. The Principal Charity Classic, because out here, it's more than golf.
From day one, our mission was simple. Give Iowa sports fans a voice. 25 years later, we're still talking, debating, and celebrating everything sports. 106.3 KXNO. 25 years of Iowa sports passion.
I was already prepared to be impressed, but H&H Windows and Doors still exceeded my already high expectations installing our new door and windows. Yep, they are in, and the process from start to finish was quick and easy. The crew from H&H Windows and Doors was in and out in less than a day. Their attention to details like trim and paint makes it look like that brand new sliding glass door has always been in our home. And our new basement windows look so nice, we're getting an estimate to replace the rest of our windows too. H&H Windows and Doors is a small, locally owned family business, and they know how to take care of their customers. Ask about their interest-free financing and lots of options for every budget. One of the best things you could do for your home's energy efficiency, home value, and curb appeal is replace old windows and doors. Call H&H Windows and Doors today at 515-216-4901 or go to hhwindoor.com. Tell them Heather sent you in.
Voters are listening to the radio, and they're really listening. If you're running for office, radio gets your message heard, not scrolled past. Reach communities everywhere and be on the air in just 48 hours. Go to winwithiheart.com. That's winwithiheart.com.
I've got a personal question. At what point did you stop calling it pain and start calling it, that's just how I am now? Well, that's not okay, and deep down, you know it. So let's get back the you who is active and carefree, and the medical team at QC Kinetics is ready to help with their long-lasting regenerative treatments for joint pain. My right knee was really bothering me from a couple of knee surgeries many years ago, and QC Kinetics got me walking, lifting, and golfing again pain-free. They're helping patients with pain from arthritis or injury in their knees, shoulders, hips, lower back. Now, all of these same people are moving, sleeping, golfing, and running without surgery or long recoveries. This is just getting back to being you. And the longer inflammation sits, the more damage it does. So let's schedule that free consultation today. Call QC Kinetics at 515-259-1227. That's 515-259-1227 for QC Kinetics. Tell them Heather said they could help.
Remember how you felt when you were 25? Your morning workouts were a breeze. You had a drive that kicked in way before your first cup of coffee. Does it feel like you're losing your edge? You know, it might not be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Mentality, we'll get to the bottom of what's really going on and build a personalized plan using testosterone replacement and peptide therapies to help restore your energy, focus, and drive. Get back to being the guy you used to be. Book your appointment with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Again, that's lowtusa.com.
My mission is improving lives, whether it's my team or my clients. And with so much turbulence in the world, can we really put a price tag on peace of mind? Your old buddy Brian here from Service Legends. And in my world, here's what peace of mind looks like to improve your life. So I pulled the data on our top-notch tune-ups from last year. 98.2% of the systems we maintained are still running like clockwork. I truly believe that's what homeowners like you really want. No breakdowns and getting the absolute most life out of your system. True peace of mind. I have so much confidence in my home comfort heroes and the job they do for Service Legends clients that I'm putting this ironclad 1-year guarantee on the line this summer. In the outside chance your AC does have a challenge after one of our top-notch tune-ups, I'm not only going to refund the cost of your tune-up, I will fix it for free. Look, not all AC tune-ups are created equal. And clearly, not all guarantees are either.
Call 515-COMFORT. We fix it right or it's free. Service Legends.
Hi, Miller Condon. Welcome back. Final few seconds of our program. Let's get right to it, TC. Circus Sports sponsors your plays of the day.
We're going to play the Thunder. Going to lay the 4 this evening against San Antonio in a bounce back spot. Give you the Nationals plus 122. And then our player props on Juiced helping me out here. We got Harrison over 6.5 strikeouts for the Brew Crew. We're going to go Schlitter over 5.5 Ks. Yordan Alvarez over 1.5 total bases and under for the first inning of the Rockies and the Dodgers.
All right, we'll grade your work tomorrow. Cappy joins us tomorrow. It should be spirited, especially if the Pirates take another one from the Cubbies. Look forward to catching up with Cappy tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We're Miller and Condon. Trent and I talk sports with you every Monday through Friday from noon until 2 on the Iowa Sports Radio Network.